Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Aubrey. I'm so happy to have you all here with me today. So today we are going to be doing the end of year book tag. It is the first Sunday in November when I am filming this, and I am actually going to be going out of town later this week. So I wanted to go ahead and get this filmed, but we are approaching the end of 2024, which is crazy to think about. Like, this year feels like it has gone by remarkably quickly. And if you're anything like me, you are feeling a little panicked by the rapidness with which time passes. But what we're going to do today is just talk about some books that we still want to read this year, reading plans for next year, that sort of thing. So we'll just go ahead and get right into it. There's only 6 questions for this tag, so it won't be, hopefully, a very long video. But the first question says, are there any books you started this year that you need to finish? I only have one that I have actually started and not finished at this point, and that is Volume 6 of Given by Natsuki Kizu. So I have been working through the rest of this series this fall, and I did pause in the middle of Volume 6 in order to read some books for October and for Halloween. But I am hoping probably in December, maybe in November, it kind of just depends on how my reading falls out at this point. To get back into Given, I would like to finish the series this year. So after I finish Volume 6, there are 3 left. And then I will have completed it. And I am very much enjoying it, so I do definitely want to finish the series this year. And that way I can start watching the anime, because I've heard that it is really good. Okay, question number 2. Do you have an autumnal book to transition into the end of the year? So for this one, I am just picking, I have 3 books here that I would like to read in November, as we kind of move towards the winter and Christmas time. November for me is very much Christmas, but it's also Thanksgiving, so it's like this weird combination of winter and fall for me. But I do have 3 kind of autumnal books, one that's a little darker and then 2 cozy ones. So the first one is Ordinary Monsters. This is the first book in the Talents trilogy by J.M. Miro, and I did get the second book in a recent book haul. And I really want to try this series. I've heard that it's really, really atmospheric. The synopsis definitely kind of like supports that statement. And it has some darker themes to it. I just think that it's going to be very good for fall, especially like this kind of ending to fall and moving into the winter and the colder months. And it just seems very misty and mysterious, and I don't know. I'm just very excited to try this. I'm actually taking this with me to start. Well, I'll probably start it before then. It depends, because I'm trying to get ready for our trip right now, and I feel like I have so much to do for work and just around the house and stuff before we leave. But if I don't get it started before we leave, I am going to take it with me so that I can at least read it on the plane. So, and if I like this one a lot, and really, I mean, it's a very thick book, but if I'm really just feeling it, I may go ahead and read the second book in this trilogy, which is the most recent one that's out. The third one is not out yet. But so that is the first one. And then, as I said, I have 2 cozier books that I really feel like would be perfect for fall or winter, and that is Legends and Lattes, which is the first book in the series of the same name by Travis Baldree, and A Traveler's Guide to the Lucky Griffin, Recipes and Regalings by Stephen Warren and Mackenzie Catron. So Legends and Lattes is very, very popular. It's cozy fantasy, high fantasy, low stakes, I think is how I've heard it described. They've got a coffee shop, and it's just supposed to be very heartwarming. It deals with coffee and baked goods, and it just sounds perfect for fall or winter, but I'm probably going to read it in November, so I'm leaning more towards the fall. And then A Traveler's Guide to the Lucky Griffin is very similar in that it is about a tavern, like I think a medieval style tavern, and this book has short stories and recipes in it that you can actually make, which I think will be really fun to try to make some of these, the ones that seem appealing to me. And again, it just sounds very cozy. And I feel like cozy is a good way to describe how I feel in November. Because as I said, it's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, all rolled into one. And everything's getting colder. We're getting to wear our sweaters and our flannel and our fuzzy scarves, and the leaves are falling and crunching under your feet, and the air is crisp, and you want to curl up inside with a hot drink and a blanket and the fire crackling. And I feel like stories about food and taverns and medieval settings in general fit the colder months so well. So I just feel like these two are going to be perfect for this transitionary period between fall and winter, and this very cozy holiday season that I look forward to every year. So those are the ones that I have. Okay, question number 3. Is there a new release that you're still waiting for? Now, I do have a lot of special editions that I'm still waiting to be completed, be sent out. For example, the Broken Bindings editions for the first 3 books in Malazan, Book of the Fallen. There is Litjoy Crate's edition of The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea. There's a lot, right? I have a number of special editions that I am waiting on. The Bookish Box and Shops, I think it's theirs. Their Davabad trilogy editions. So there's quite a few of those. But if we're restricting this to not special editions, then I don't have a ton that are arriving in November and December. I'm trying to kind of keep it that way as well. So I am only going to talk about ones that I've already pre-ordered, because if we talked about everything that's coming out in the next 2 months that I'm excited for, we'd be here forever. So I'm just going to restrict myself to the ones that I have already ordered. One of which is the Teller of Small Fortunes. This looks so cute. Again, it seems very cozy. We have fortune telling, we have found family, we have a magical cat. I'm just really excited for this one, and I have pre-ordered it, although I have seen the cover for Owl Crate's version that they are producing in their December adult box. It's so beautiful. I think it's December, it might be November, but it's so pretty. I'm on their waitlist for their adult subscription because the last 2 times that I got off the waitlist, it was when they were having a book that I just wasn't interested in enough to want to pay for like a special edition of it. So I skipped it and had to be put back on the waitlist. So either I'll get taken off the waitlist and definitely hop on this, or if they have extra stock, maybe, we'll see. But I have already ordered the standard edition, and its cover is beautiful as well, and I'm very excited for it. And then the other one that is just a standard edition that I'm excited for is Volume 20 of The Heroic Legend of Arslan. If you've been here a while, you may know that this is my favorite manga series of all time. I love it so much, and I have Volume 19. It is sitting over there on the shelf, staring at me, waiting for me to read it. But I like to read at least 2 volumes together because manga volumes are so short, and I feel like it's just not as satisfying. You feel like you haven't had enough if you just read 1 volume. So I've been waiting on Volume 20 for so long so that I can read those 2 together, and I'm so excited. so excited. And then I also, these are not exactly special editions, I wouldn't say, but 2 re-releases in a new format of sorts that I have ordered, and I'm very excited for. The first is the hardcover, the deluxe hardcover editions for Heaven Official's Blessing or Tianguan Sifu. I will put the cover of Volume 1 up here. They've only released the first 3 volumes for pre-order at this point, and I have pre-ordered all of them, and they're starting to come out soon. And I'm so excited. Heaven Official's Blessing is something that I adore very much. You might be able to tell by all the stuff up here. And I'm just so excited because these are beautiful. They're so pretty, and I am a collector. I like to collect different editions of my favorite books. So there's that. The other one that I want to mention for this question is the box set for Delicious in Dungeon, because I started watching the anime earlier this year, very much enjoyed it, put it on pause because I wanted to read the manga. The problem is, if you're a manga reader, you may be aware of this. Delicious in Dungeon volumes were out of stock for so long, like the early volumes, everywhere. I mean, they were out of stock everywhere. So when they announced the box set, it was cheaper to get than buying all of the volumes separately, and it's in stock. Like, because it was pre-order, so you're guaranteed to get it. So I did pre-order it, and it looks so cool. The box looks like a mimic, so I'm excited for that one. Okay, then question 4 is, what are 3 books you want to read before the year ends? Now, this could be like 10 books, 20 books I want to read, because I have so many that I want to read as soon as possible. But to keep it at 3, for the sake of the question, and for the sake of time, I have chosen 3 that I know that I'm going to read specifically before the end of the year. Like, each of these has a reason, and it's not just ones that I want to get to. The first of those is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. The reason this is on the list is because my brother and his girlfriend and some of our friends have a book club that I am in, and our book for October, November is Piranesi. And we did kind of a 2-month thing there because my brother and his girlfriend had their master's theses due, like the rough draft kind of thing of their master's theses was due at the beginning of November, so they needed some extra time, some cushion there. But so we're going to talk about this probably the week before Thanksgiving, I think. So I do really need to read this soon. And I'm excited for it because I really enjoyed Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which is up there, by the same author. And I've heard everyone loves this, and I've heard it's so strange, and it's also very short. So I do definitely have to read this in the month of November so that I can talk about it with them for the book club. And then the other 2 are ones that I want to read in December. The first one is The Advent of Winter, a fantasy anthology. This is a Kickstarter that I backed last year, and they did release the different stories digitally throughout Advent, so throughout December leading up to Christmas, so that you could read them kind of like an Advent calendar of stories. But I wanted to wait till I had the physical copy, so I did. So I have not read any of these yet, so I do plan on treating this like an Advent calendar and reading it 1 story a week, I think is how it works leading up to Christmas. So that is my plan with that, and that's why it's on this list, because I have to do it during December. Like, I have to do it during Christmas. So if I don't do it this year, it won't get read until next December. So I am planning on doing that. And the other one, the reason it's on this list is because it is directly related to Christmas. And so I do plan on reading it in December. And that is Love Light Farms. This is the first book in the series of the same name by B.K. Borison. And I enjoy a good romance. This one is set at a Christmas tree farm, and I've heard a lot of people really like it, and I did get the special edition set from Illumicrate, and it's really pretty, and I would like to start reading it. And each of the 4 books is set during a different season, and Love Light Farms is set obviously during winter at Christmas time, so that's why it's on this list, because I do want to start the series and like hopefully read the other 3 during their corresponding seasons next year in 2025, which means that I need to read this one this December. So again, lots of other books I could say here. I could talk about Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill. I could do The Will of the Many by James Islington. The Dragon Age books, because I really want to start that series now that Veilguard is out, so that eventually, if I ever get a PS5, I will have those already in my head, all the lore and extra stories before I start playing Veilguard. And so many more that I could mention. But again, the question asked for 3, so these are the 3 that I know, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'm going to read before the end of the year, because they actually have a reason for why they have to be read within the next 2 months. Okay, number 5. Is there a book that you think could still shock you and become your favorite of the year? I'm not sure. I mean, I really think I'm going to like Ordinary Monsters, and I really think I'm going to like Piranesi, and I'm sure Love Light Farms will be fun, and The Advent of Winter will be, I think, very exciting to read all of these short stories by all of these authors. Oh, I should show you who contributed. So these are all of their surnames of the authors that contributed to this anthology. But I don't know, because I don't know what else I'm really going to read before New Year's. I don't know, because I have so many books on my TBR that I think could be real favorites for me, like The Dandelion Dynasty, or any of those that I mentioned earlier, Heroic Legend of Arslan, because I love it so much, and it's just always a favorite. I don't know, I have so many. I've got the Great Coats that I want to start. I have a number of different dragon books that I have kind of accumulated and am looking forward to getting into. I don't know. It definitely there could be something. There could be something. But I also am not the kind of person that can easily pick a favorite of anything unless we're talking colors and ice cream flavors. That's it. So I'm not good at choosing favorites. If I love something, I love it. And I'm not usually really good at saying that I love one thing more than another unless it's just obviously, like, just grabbed me by the heart. So, I don't know. That's a good question, and you're just gonna have to go with I don't know. That's the only answer that I can give you. And then the sixth and final question is, have you already started to make reading plans for 2024? Yes, in a way. So I've mentioned in videos before, I am very much a mood reader. I do kind of plan out like certain books that I want to read, like my little stack here. But when I make a plan, it doesn't always work because I'm very much a mood reader. I do tend to think like, okay, what are some books that I really am excited to read this season? But I don't know. All of that to say, that was really rambly, but all of that to say that I don't have a specific plan. Like, I'm not a person that sits down and says, okay, I'm going to read these books this month and these books this month, unless I have a reason like I've mentioned here. But I do have some kind of goals that I'm kind of going to work towards in 2025. One of those is continuing series that I've already started. So I have so many series. If you've seen my bookshelf tour, which is a little outdated, but it's from earlier this year, you may have noticed I have a number of series that I have started and have not completed. And some of them are not finished, which obviously is not my fault, but I have a lot that even if they're ongoing, I'm not up to date on them. And that is something that I really want to kind of rectify in 2025. I do keep a series tracker every year on Notion. It's one of my Notion pages that I have, and I keep track of all the series that I am currently in the middle of. Meaning, I own books in that series and have not finished it. And then I keep track of how many I'm up to date on, how many I haven't made any progress on this year, any that I've started, completed, all of that. And any that I could continue, meaning that I have at least the next book in the series and could go forward with it, like currently in my possession. So I have a lot. And I am going to do a video at the beginning of the year, like in January, where we kind of do a series update and see where I am. And I'm going to expose my difficulties with finishing series. Not that I have a difficulty finishing series. I love to reach conclusions in series, although it does make me sad because I'm also sad that it's over. But I just have, maybe I should say, my chronic obsession with starting new series is my problem. Because then I end up with a backlog. So I'm going to do a video about that, and that's something that I want to really focus on in 2025 is continuing series that I have already started. But then also, to kind of contradict what I just said, I also have so many series that I have the first book, the first two books, whatever, and I haven't started them because I'm already in the middle of so many series, and I feel like that's a dumb reason to not start them. So, while yes, I want to continue series I'm already in the middle of, I also really want to start all of these series that I've been so excited for and have just been putting off. So, for example, I mentioned Of Blood and Fire, which is the first book in The Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill. I have The Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu. I have The Grishaverse by Leigh Bardugo. And The Great Coats by Sebastian de Castell. I have my Dragon Age books, although hopefully I'll get to those soon. I've got a number of light novel and manga series that I want to start, like Haikyuu and Onmyoji and Tengu Eyes, and The Ephemeral Scenes of Setsuna's Journey, and The Elusive Samurai, and Demon Slayer, and so many series that I just have been putting off because... And The Bloodsworn by John Gwynne, which is now complete, so I really need to get into that. But I have so many series that I've just not started because I kept thinking, let me knock some off my list before I add any more. And then I have still added more, but some of them I've just been putting off, and that needs to stop. So 2025 is going to be the year of series, I think. Not to say I won't read standalones, but those are kind of my two goals for myself, is just to catch up on series, make progress on series that I'm in the middle of, and to start these ones that I've been so excited for and have just been putting off because, I mean, what's the point, right? What's the point in doing that? So, yeah. So that is it for the end of the year book tag. If you would like to leave your answers to any of these questions below, I would love to hear what you have to say. If you have anything you're reading before the end of the year, if you have any plans for 2025, anything you're excited for that hasn't come out yet, I would love to hear what you have to say. I genuinely love talking to you guys in the comments. If you would like to leave an emoji, either with your comment or just to let me know that you were here, even if you don't want to say anything else, let's do, let's do a little wolf emoji because I love wolves, and there's currently a project where I live, like in the state where I live, that is trying to help wildlife, and wolves in particular, and get some wildlife crossings to keep them safe. So let's do wolves because I love wolves. So you can leave a little wolf emoji in the comments if you would like. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you are having a wonderful day or a wonderful night wherever you are. I hope that you're enjoying the last bit of our year of 2024, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!